You're ready.
Thank you very much. I'm calling this Back Bay Architectural Commission public hearing to order at 5 p.m. on February 11th, 2026. You may participate in this hearing by going to our Zoom meeting link and our agenda posted online at https://www.boston.gov/public notices 165-62976, or by calling 646-828-7666 and entering ID number 160-782-8073. You may also submit written comments or questions to backbayac@boston.gov. In accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open law meeting law, we are conducting this hearing online to ensure public access to the deliberations of the Back Bay Architectural Commission. The public may access this call through telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you're calling in and cannot use the platform, you may press *9 to raise your hand, or you may send your questions to staff via email at backbayac@boston.gov. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per person and should be focused on a project's exterior architectural features, which includes landscaping. Issues related to use, street traffic, and noise are outside of the Commission's purview.
Great, and I will just say what commissioners are present. We have Gina Dimitriadis, Kathy Connor, Tom High, Tanvi Nair, Lisa Tharp, and Susanna Gaspar. So, Kathy, if we go, the first item is the ratification of the January 14th, 2026 public hearing minutes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Joe. Do we have a motion to accept?
Move approval.
Thank you.
A second.
Okay. Gina Dimitriadis?
Yes.
Kathy Connor?
Yes.
Tom High?
Yes.
Tanvi Nair?
Yes.
Lisa Tharp?
Yes.
And Susanna Gaspar?
Abstain.
Okay. And Kathy, I'm wondering if we could do the administrative now, just because I know commissioners, a few commissioners have to drop off at 6 o'clock, so I just want to make sure we don't.
That's terrific, Joe. Let's do that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Gina Dimitriadis?
Yes.
Kathy Connor?
Yes.
Tom High?
Yes.
Tanvi Nair?
Yes.
Lisa Tharp?
Yes.
And Susanna Gaspar?
Abstain.
Okay. So we can go now to our first project, application 26.0537BB, which is 511 Beacon Street at rear elevation, replace existing casement windows with 2 double hung windows. And Rich Atkins, are you here or a representative here for this application? I don't see your name listed. Ah, okay. Okay, Rich, I think I just made you a co-host.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Nice to see you all. Joe, I just wanted to give you an update. The mini split that I stood in front of you folks about 2 years ago and asked for, the panel never would have supported it, and it would not have passed inspection. So
Sure. So
unfortunately,
before we jump in, I'm just going to read my staff comments, and then we can move forward with your presentation.
Okay. Should I plan on sharing my screen?
I have what you submitted.
Great.
So I can
super.
go through it. Yep. Okay. So staff notes that 511 Beacon Street is a 4-story brick row house built in 1887 and designed by Samuel D. Kelly. In June 2023, the commission approved installing an air conditioning condenser into the rear masonry wall of the building. However, the building's current electrical service cannot support this equipment. The applicant is seeking to install double hung windows at this location to accommodate a portable air conditioning unit. The window openings at the rear of the building were enlarged to accommodate steel casement windows in the 1960s when the building was converted from a lodging house into 10 apartments. And then I have just some photos that I had taken recently. And Rich is, if you can see my cursor, is that these are the windows here, or is it above that you're proposing?
Those are definitely ours because ours enter onto that roof to the right of where your cursor is.
Okay, so my staff recommends approval with provisos, finding that the windows should be wood and painted brown to match the windows at the neighboring property. The configuration of the window should be a center double hung window flanked by 2 casement windows, similar in appearance to the windows at the neighboring property. So these are the windows at the neighboring property that I'm proposing that this project tries to be consistent with. And here's another view. Unfortunately, we have 2 double hung windows here that look like they were probably installed without our review or approval. So I'll be looking into those just to try to figure out what the history of those are and if they are potentially a violation. All right, Rich. So if you want to go ahead with your presentation, just let me know when to move forward.
Joe, I think everything you just said it all. I mean, would I like 2 double hungs and would I like the commission to approve it? Yes, I would. Thanks for showing this. This makes sense for all of us. Like, would you want this set of windows in your place? So we definitely want something nice. I want something nice for the tenants can, and also come in. So if you can accommodate 2 double hungs, yes. If it has to be the way Joe said it, the single double hung in the center, 2 casements, whatever it is, folks, I'm just thankful for your approval for us to move forward on something. Oh, there you go. That was a proposed design from JB Sash.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Commissioners, any questions?
It seems to me that Joe's recommendation makes sense. I understand that the applicant would prefer the other, but using wood and having the single central double hung window with the flanking casement windows makes a lot more architectural sense, I think. So I would support approving it with those provisos, and I'd be ready to make a motion to that effect.
Could I ask whether the window in question is roughly the same proportion as what Joe was pointing out at the neighboring building? It seems to me that it's, this is 2 double hung, proposed to be 2 double hung windows. And when I look at the whole thing, I'm just not sure whether our masonry opening is roughly the same proportion as the other ones as we see on the left-hand side. It's hard to tell without an elevation. Things are a little jumbled.
May I answer that?
Yes, please.
As a unit owner, my feeling, and it's only a feeling right now, I've actually never considered your question. It's Susanna, is it?
Yes, please.
But yeah, it seems the same to me, to the untrained eye.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Any other comments, commissioners, or do we want to move to the public comments? Okay, moving to the public comments. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you're calling in and connect with the platform, you may press *9 to raise your hand, or you can send your questions to staff via email at backbayac@boston.gov. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per person and should be focused on a project's exterior architectural features, which includes landscaping. Issues related to use, street traffic, and noise are outside of the commission's purview. And Serge, I see that you have your hand up.
Yes, good evening, commissioners and Joe. We did, during our committee, Serge Savard from the Neighborhood Association of the Back Bay During our architecture committee, we did review this application. We did go on site, look at the windows, and we came to the exact same conclusion that Joe did on this one, that the best solution is to be able to accommodate an AC air conditioner is probably to put the AC into a double long window and put two casements to mimic exactly the other one, but at least this way the applicant can be able to install in a manageable way. And also, given the width of the window, you can have a window in the middle that's probably about 24 to 26 inches to have a wide enough AC and still have something like 18 inches of casement window on each side, which would make sense. So we think that this is really an appropriate and a good compromise for this case. Thank you.
Thank you, Serge. Do you see anyone else, Joe?
No, no other hands, and I haven't gotten any other comments.
Okay, terrific. Then why don't we go back to the motion, please? Tom?
Move that it be approved with the provisos that the windows are to be of wood and painted brown to match the windows of the neighboring property. And the configuration of the windows is to be a center double hung window, flanked by two casement windows, to be approved by staff.
Second,
All right, Gina Dimitriadis,
yes.
Kathy Connor,
Yes.
Tom High,
Yes.
Tommy Nair,
Yes.
Lisa Tharp, Lisa. We can come back to Lisa. Susanna, Susanna Gaspar
Yes.
and Lisa Tharp.
Yes.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Rich. I'll
Great.
be in touch with
Thank
you
you.
soon.
And
Thank you.
Commission, I just want to thank you for, you made this just very bearable. And I think you're doing good things for Back Bay.
Thank you.
Have
And
a
we're
good
gonna
night,
move on
everyone.
You
Thank
too.
you.
You too. We're going to move on to our next application.
I'm sorry, that should be application 260612 BB 392 Marlborough Street at roof remove existing access hatch and install head house with skylight. So Matt
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Arnold. Yeah, I think Matt, you're here.
Correct.
Okay, anyone else from your team? We should make a co-host.
I think Joe Hanley might be trying to connect, but I'll drive the bus in terms of the presentation.
Okay, and you want to share your screen?
Please.
Yeah. Okay, I'll stop sharing.
All right.
And I'll just read my comments. Staff notes that 392 Marlborough Street is a 4-story brick row house built between 1885 and 1886 and designed by Samuel D. Kelly. The applicant has revised the proposal to include a multi-pane door based on feedback from the Neighborhood Association of the Back Bay. And I did go out to look if I could see the mock-up, and I could not see the mock-up from the ground.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the commission. My name is Matthew Arnold. I'm the founding principal of Arnold and Architecture. I've been engaged by the client to show our proposed proposition to the BBAC here. So what I'll run through next is a series of drawings and diagrams that hopefully clearly illustrates what we'd like to do with the project. As Joe said, we did meet with the NABB last week. We have revised this presentation in front of you to include their comments. So please, if there's any questions along the way, please feel free to jump in. Happy to answer anything you may have. Let's see. So the first drawing here is the current condition of the roof landscape at 392. We have highlighted the existing skylight roof hatch access to the roof deck. As you probably all know, the skylight hatches can be a little troublesome to operate. This hatch is a bit on the older side and is a bit physically difficult to operate. And in lieu of replacing it with another kind of skylight hatch, The client would love to replace it with a headhouse, which would make the roof, a bit more accessible for her as she uses the roof, and just provide, in our minds, a better level of safety. So here we've shown the existing skylight hatch location, and in the next slide, we're kind of showing the proposed headhouse. The headhouse would follow the footprint of the skylight to the best of its ability. We would have to elongate the opening in the roof deck towards the Marlborough Street side just a little bit to maintain the necessary headroom as you proceed up the stairs. We would not encroach onto the rear any further than we would need. We would not be replacing any of the railings at the rear. The railing can kind of stay where it is. It would really just be to kind of outline the stair with the headhouse, again, making the headhouse as kind of thin and as slim and as short as possible to meet the code requirements. Here's a building section, kind of just illustrating the height of the headhouse. We've proposed a 7'6" ceiling on the interior, which is a kind of minimum ceiling height. We are sloping the headhouse to follow the slope of the stair. And we are proposing putting in a skylight in the sloped portion of the house just to bring some light down into the stairwell, as it currently does with the kind of roof hatch access. The next drawing here just kind of illustrates, an axon drawing of the headhouse itself. We would be using a copper panel on the facade, a wood true divided Anderson door at the rear, and a skylight on the sloped area. And then I think, we may also replace the two flat skylights here with some new skylights because they're just a bit older. It's just got a little bit of detail about the kind of interlocking copper paneling that we would use on the headhouse's exterior.
That Marvin door you say is wood?
The Anderson door, yes, it's an Anderson, yes. Yep.
With
wood door.
true divided lights, good.
True divided lights, correct.
Matt, I just want to know, I don't think Anderson makes a true divided light door or window, so I think we would need to confirm that.
Okay, I can definitely confirm that. Yeah, our intent would be a true divided door. Okay. So we do have a kind of an aerial perspective here of the existing roof, obviously highlighting the building at 392. We have one from a slightly alternate perspective just to give everybody the kind of lay of the land. And then we just have a kind of a series of kind of axonometric drawings that shows the current condition and then our kind of proposed condition, just so the commission could clearly see what the proposition was. We did do a line of sight drawing from the alley just to confirm that it would not be visible. Also, as Joe said, we did build a physical mock-up that is in place, and we did get it in place prior to the snow, knowing
Congratulations.
that the contractor went out that Friday before and got it in place for us, knowing that it'd be hard to do with 3 feet of snow piled on the roof. We have done a reconnaissance up and down the street. We were not able to see the headhouse while going up and down the street. And then this drawing just kind of illustrates, the top obviously is the kind of existing condition and the bottom is the proposed. We try to intervene as lightly as possible into the landscape of the roof and just minimize this as much as possible. And then, like I said, we did do our kind of reconnaissance, and we thought it'd be helpful to show the commission a series of photographs kind of up and down the street, going, from Mass Ave down. And the first set, as you can see in the kind of location diagram, are all looking one particular direction. And then we did provide a handful of drawings looking in the other direction. And that's generally what we have for the commission. If there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. And I appreciate your time and your advice and your help as we went through this. I'm going to jump back to.
Commissioners, any questions?
I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay, great.
All right, I'll just bring up the script.
Thank
Matt,
you.
if you could stop sharing.
Sure. Oop. Here we go.
Okay. All right, Kathy, can you see that?
I can now, Joe. Thank you very much. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you're calling in and cannot use the platform, you may press *9 to raise your hand, or you may send your questions to staff via email at backbayac@boston.gov. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per person and should be focused on the project's exterior architectural features, which includes landscaping. Issues related to use, street traffic, and noise are outside of the commission's purview. And Serge, it's your turn again.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, we did see this applicant, and we are pleased to see the wood door and the copper siding on the plan. So this is something that we think is appropriate for neighborhood. And we can confirm that some members of our committee did go on site to try to see the mock-up, and we could not see traces of the mock-up from the regular points on the alley and from the front. So that was not the case. The last point I would like to make is on the aerial pictures that were probably Google pictures. I'm not sure if it's this current owner or previous owner, but there was some screening, privacy screens that were there that seems to be higher than the railings height. And that should be noted that these should not normally not be allowed on the deck. But other than that, we're very, very satisfied with this proposal. Thank you.
Great. Anyone else, Joe? I don't see anyone.
No other hands and no written
All
comment.
right. Great. Well, Tom, we're back to you.
All right, I move that the project be approved with the proviso that the head house door is to be of wood with true divided lights, just to make it clear since there's some doubt about whether Anderson makes it.
Second,
Okay, Gina Dimitriadis,
yes.
Kathy Connor,
Yes.
Tom High,
Yes.
Tombi Nair,
Yes.
Lisa Tharp,
Yes.
and Susanna Gaspar.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much. I
Matt.
appreciate the commission's time and I appreciate your help.
Thank you. And we're gonna
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. And that's it, Joe?
That's it. I can move to staff
Wow.
updates and
Fantastic.
just I think all of you know we'll be having our Commissioner Appreciation event tomorrow, and it's also the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Boston Landmarks Commission at our offices at
Oh,
26
nice.
Court Street. So if you haven't RSVP'd, I will send the link again tonight if you'd like to attend tomorrow at 5:30. I will say we did have our first subcommittee meeting for 263 Clarendon Street on Friday, and we will continue our review of that project. So thank you to Gina, Tom, Lisa, and Rob for participating in that. And I think that's everything that I have.
Great.
Joe, just so I don't forget, I actually can't go to the March meeting.
Okay, all right.
I have a
Thank you.
major conflict because we're doing an event at the Boston Athenaeum and I'm an organizer, so I have to be there.
Okay.
Nice location, Gina.
Yeah, it's I'm on the Massachusetts State Committee for the National Museum of Women in the Arts, and we're doing our revealing our women to watch candidates.
Oh, that's gonna be
So
exciting.
it's
Yeah.
going to be a great event.
Yeah. Well, you'll be missed, but what a great thing to miss us for, right?
Yeah. So just because you might want to do the quorum, because that
Yes. Yeah. Well,
yeah, I
make
was
sure.
concerned when I realized it was being postponed.
Beautiful. Thanks, Gina.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right. So anyone else have something to say, or shall we make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Fantastic. I think we're probably in agreement, Joe.
Yeah,
So-
do we have a second?
Second.
I think Kathy just seconded it.
Yeah,
Okay.
second.
All right. Thanks,
Oh,
everyone. I
right.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you very
Thank
much, everybody.
you.
Have a great evening.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.